Good evening, everyone. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Let me try that again. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Yes. My name is Rob, and I am the Senior Creative Catalyst for Central Florida Community Arts, which is a fancy way of saying I drive creativity both on stage and off for Central Florida Community Arts. I am the warm-up act for Joshua Vickery. So tonight you're going to be hearing all about this idea of Reimagine. Josh is going to be sharing the future of Central Florida Community Arts with all of you. But before we get started on all of that, I want everybody to join me in welcoming everybody on Facebook Live. Welcome, everyone. Hello. So you might be on camera at any given time, so make sure that you're smiling and happy the entire time. So let me tell you a quick story, a couple of quick stories. So I was actually there. You hear all of the stories if you spend any time in rehearsals or any time behind the scenes of Central Florida Community Arts. You hear about the garage meeting. The very first meeting that birthed Central Florida Community Arts. And I'll tell you, I was there. I was there however many years ago that was. And I have been along for the entire journey, and it's been super fun to watch all of the stuff happen all along the way. I actually had an opportunity to be on the floor of Camping World Stadium earlier last month. How many of you have been to Camping World Stadium? It's also known as the soccer stadium. Yeah, it's that big stadium down the street in Orlando. And I actually had an opportunity to be on the floor there. Now, there's two ways that you get to be on the floor at Camping World Stadium. And that is if you are a very special person, or if you are invited by a very special person. I happen to be invited by a very special person to be there, and it was really, really cool. I got to be there for a really great event, a performing arts event that it was fantastic. And I'm on the floor, but what I learned was being on the floor is really, really great, and it's really special that you get to be there. But the best seats are actually further up. And I found my way up, and I started making my way up, and I kept turning around to see where was the best seats to see the thing that I was watching. And I kept traveling further and further up the stairs, and I would look back and see. And it wasn't until I got all the way to the very top of the stadium that I realized this is the best place to watch this. It was a big marching band event. And so to see all of the bands, it was the Drum Corps International. Those of you who are watching, you would be very upset if you're a drum corps person and I call it a marching band. You would see all of the corps that are out there, but you could see them best from way up high. Well, then what I ended up doing was actually turning around, and not only could I see what was happening inside of the stadium, that was the best view there to see what was happening inside of the stadium, but turning around, I could see the entire skyline of Central Florida. And I could see the sun was setting, and I could see everything that was outside of that stadium. Friends, I have watched this organization grow, and I started on the ground floor. And I was there for all of the steps that we took along the way. And I saw all of the little bits and pieces, and as we were going up the stairs, we got to meet more people all along the way. And I've seen us get to some peak moments. Some really, really high-top, great moments. And that's fantastic. But when you turn around and you look and see where you've been, that's great. But even better is to turn around and look outside of the stadium, look outside of the high point that you're at, and to see the horizon that is ahead. What is out there, what's available, and what's in the future. So, to tell you more about that, please welcome, voted the second most important person in the world, Joshua Vickery.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Have fun. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and this is a wonderful crowd for an announcement. It truly is. We had so many people that reached out to us over the last few weeks and said, Josh, we really want to be there, but we're on vacation, or did you remember that it's still summer, and also you're in Longwood? and I live in another county. So we're just very glad that so many people came out tonight for this announcement. And we talked about, we can send out another email, we can create a video, we can do a presentation, but would it be great to have this conversation in front of an audience? So if you're here tonight, there is a very large audience watching it live on Facebook right now, and we're videotaping this to show audiences in the future. So can you make some noise because you're in the room? Just some big noise. So I have to tell you, you look like a big choir to me, and I just want to conduct you right now. When I'm at Northland in this stage, I feel like I should be directing something. This wonderful church is amazing to us. We started our journey here with them in 2011. They hosted our very first Christmas show, and they have been the home for some of our largest and most wonderful performances that we've done. So we thought it very fitting to have this town hall here in the sanctuary at Northland Church. And I want to just, before we even get going into this presentation, to tell you about the future of CFCArts. There are many special people in the room and that couldn't be here, from funders to program partners to artists, but there is a group of people who walk alongside me and walk alongside our staff in helping us make decisions and supporting us and governing and guiding our wonderful organization. And they wholly supported this move and supported us relaunching our School of the Arts. And so if any of I know there are some, Sarah Brady, our board chair, and some of our board members, so will you please stand so that we can acknowledge you and honor you tonight? All our board members in the room, stand up and let's give them a big round of applause. Some are still walking. There's 18 board members, so some that couldn't make it tonight, but we're so grateful for each one of them. I hope that today will show you just a glimpse of how important Central Florida Community Arts has become over the last 8 years. September will be 8 years from our beginning. And that tonight you will also be able to see something that Dr. Joel Hunter, former pastor of this wonderful church, now a great community leader, said that this community would truly be impoverished without CFCArts and its influence on our community. We live and we exist to make the arts affordable and accessible to every single person in Central Florida. A couple of years ago, we sent out a survey to our artists and to our members, and we said, artists, we think we know what you think about us, but can you tell us what you think about us? And will you tell us the words that you associate with being a part of the family of Central Florida Community Arts? And these are some of the words that they said. They said new beginning, belonging, family, haven, hobby, release, pride, resource, service, renewed passion, broad scope, opportunity, fun and exciting, inclusive, diverse, creative, quality, equality, impressive, encouraging, and safe. Those are some pretty nice compliments, I would say, from our members. But most of those words have almost nothing to do with putting on a show or putting on a program. It has to do with community. It has to do with family. And that's why we exist, to serve and build community through the arts. So I think our members had it right in talking about the words that describe us. What started out as a conversation in the garage. Now, my garage did have air conditioning and carpet, so I should put that out there. It wasn't too much of a bad situation. Turned into a dream is now literally impacting thousands of people in Central Florida. So let me just remind you of our history really quick and the story of CFCArts and how we began. I started in church music, and then I started at Disney as a casting director for Disney Entertainment, and I was noticing people from all over the world that were auditioning for us. That, first of all, this was a mecca for talent here in Central Florida, similar to film in LA or to musical theater in New York City. But with our convention industry and our theme park industry, there were people that were flocking here that were talented and wanted to be a part of something. But I would ask people, where do you perform back home? And 9 times out of 10, people would say, I don't have a place. Unless they were involved in their church music program, they didn't have a place to connect and to keep performing. So it really birthed in me this idea, along with Jonathan Cole, to say, maybe we should create, at the time, just a choir where people, it was non-auditioned, and people could come and be a part of this choir, and it would be an opportunity for these performers to have a place to belong. We put on some cool shows, do some cool service events, and if we had 50 singers show up, we would be super excited. Well, that turned out just a little bit different, and so we started the journey with the community choir. Community choir we began the organization in September of 2010. Our first rehearsal was February of 2011. We had 152 singers show up to that very first rehearsal. We had music packets for 75. Our room wasn't big enough. We were off to a great start. Now we have a 310 voice adult community choir, and Chorus America says currently we're the largest community choir on record in the entire country right now, which is awesome. Now that's 310 singers, adults that might sing with us at any given season or any given moment, but there are hundreds of singers that would call this choir home that might perform at other times throughout the history of the choir. And then in January of 2012, we had we had our first concert, Salute to American Heroes, and then we had our first Christmas concert here, and I invited all these wonderful musicians to come and play with us from my church music background or Disney background, and we had an orchestra for the first two concerts. But some of those musicians came to me and said, Josh, we love playing with the choir and for the choir, but we also don't want to just be a choir accompaniment. We want to have our own orchestra. So we started the journey of the Central Florida Symphony Orchestra. And we thought it would have the same illustrious beginnings as the choir did. And some of you have heard this story. It didn't. We had 11 musicians show up to the very first rehearsal. 4 were French horns and 1 string player. My friends from Maitland Symphony are here. You know that's not good at all, right? So we were not off to the same beginnings. But that group of people got excited about the vision, excited about the mission, and having a place for instrumentalists to have the same culture and the same place to belong that the choir did. And now we have a 160-member adult symphony orchestra. They just kicked off. This past Sunday. We had 152 musicians on a rainy Sunday night in July come back out for the first rehearsal, which is just incredible. The gym was packed. And they're getting ready for their big concert in October, the greatest hits over the last 5 years that they've been playing concerts. So we're very proud of our orchestra. I want to share something with you just really quickly to show you the diversity in this organization. So we took a survey of our orchestra in one season, and we asked some demographic information about them. And in that orchestra of 163 players that were in that specific concert, we found out that we currently draw artists and members from 40 different cities and towns across Florida. So from 40 different cities and towns, people are driving to come and play in this orchestra on a weekly basis. Talk about tourism. Currently, only 39 of the people were born anywhere in the state of Florida. And only 14 of those 39 people were born and raised right here in Orlando. An interesting fact, 18 people, more than 12% of the ensemble, were born outside of the continental United States. Talk about a diversity and inclusiveness. Only 22 of the 163 members work in any kind of music-related field whatsoever. 32 of those members are teachers of some sort, not music-related. And 23 of those members work in either IT, computer, or engineering, which means we have as many people that are professionals in engineering playing in the orchestra that we do that are from a music background. I think that's pretty incredible. Talk about community on a stage. 17 of those members work in the medical field in some way. So if there's anything that happens, we're in good shape up on this stage, just so you know. One of our board members and one of our first violin players is the head of pharmacology for Arnold Palmer Hospital. So if we have anything, we're good to go. Dan, thank you for being there. Then we created, our next journey was our Children's Youth Arts program. We created that in the spring of 2012, and that was from parents of our choir and orchestra saying, Josh, we love what you've created with this choir and orchestra. We want our kids to experience that same welcoming, encouraging, loving environment. So we started with Annie Jr. That was our very first show. We had 52 kids come out to that first show. Now, fast forward just a few years later, we see over 1,200 kids a week in consistent arts programming. We have about 300 kids that come to us every single week, and the rest of those kids we go out and see in community centers, after-school programs, working with foster care organizations, all to make the arts accessible to kids who might not normally be able to tangibly touch the performing arts. So over 1,200 kids from 52 in about 5 years. Then we started in February of 2013 our School of the Performing Arts, what we affectionately called SOPA. And SOPA started to really help our musicians and our singers and our kids better their craft at affordable rates. We started that at the old Dr. Phillips building where we shared our space with Orlando Ballet. We actually lost that space in 2013, and we moved to our new home, which is Central Christian Church. And I believe Rob Thilheim, I think I saw him walk in the back, who leads our trustees. Wave, Rob. So Rob and the wonderful people of CCC became a home for us in 2013, and that's where we moved our School of Performing Arts and where we moved our offices and have been our central location since 2013. And so we created the School of Performing Arts that year. And then in 2015, it was a super busy year for us. How many of you have seen a theater show in our Black Box Theater? Woo! Look at that, Donald. Maybe I should say how many have not seen a show in the theater? Oh, like 3 people. Perfect. Well, we just happen to have Pirates of Penzance opening tomorrow night. So if you haven't seen it, go and check out our theater program. We launched that in 2015 under the direction of the very talented Donald Roop, our director of theater. Now we do a year-round programs with theater shows, cabarets, rentals to other theater programs, and making community theater really accessible. Also in 2015, we created the Young Artists Orchestra. The Florida Young Artists Orchestra unfortunately closed their doors, and we took those kids under our umbrella, and now we have a 70-member youth orchestra as well. In 2015, we also started the journey of having some of our fledgling arts and wellness programs that I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about in just a moment. But that also started in 2015. And then our latest program that we created this past year is Dance for All Adults. How many of you love to dance? Anybody? Perfect. They rehearse every Tuesday night. There's a beginner class, an intermediate class, an advanced class, and then the CFCArts company. And the beginning class, trust me, is for everyone. It is so cool to watch people of all different backgrounds and abilities come together and dance every Tuesday night. So if you're interested in that, that's one of our newest programs. So just to give you a couple quick fast facts beyond the programs that I've highlighted for you, to remind you about the impact of CFCArts. We offer scholarships in all of our program areas so that we remove those barriers for financial reasons so that every single person of every age can participate in any of our programs. We never turn anybody away for financial reasons. We partner with local nonprofits and charities, and we bring the arts at no cost to help them with their mission and their goal. That's the way that we serve our community. So we whether it's a 5K walk or it's a volunteer recognition lunch or it's a fundraising gala, our artists go out and partner with those charities for free. And in our short existence, we've partnered with 131 charities in Central Florida to bring the arts at no cost. Organizations like the Ronald McDonald House, Autism Speaks, Hope Helps, Catholic Charities, Coalition for the Homeless, Easter Seals, Runway to Hope, American Cancer Society, and the list goes on and on and on. These artists have donated their time to help these organizations. I think there are probably many artists that are going to watch this video. Can you just give them a big round of applause for what they do in that way for our community? We impact thousands of disadvantaged and at-risk youth in a variety of ways through after-school programs, summer camps. This year we did 52 different summer camps all over Central Florida. That makes me scared just saying that out loud. That's like crazy. And then we offer education workshops, classes, and private lessons affordable to all. And we actually have a grant from the Central Florida Hotel and Lodging Association. We're the only arts organization that has a grant from the tourism industry to offer free lessons to kids. I think that's pretty rocking for sure. We produce, thank you. We offer ticket prices starting at only $10. Can I get a big cheer for that? Only $10. And you see such awesome, amazing shows at affordable prices so whole families can come. And if a family comes to us, by the way, we don't advertise this, but if anybody ever comes to CFCArts and says, Josh, we really want to come see the show, we just can't even afford the $10. We give away free tickets to anybody who asks for it. We never turn anybody away for any financial reasons. Last year, we produced 36 different shows all over Central Florida. We had over 28,000 patrons buy tickets to come see one of those shows. And last year, 2,023 artists of all ages and abilities performed on one of our stages. 2,023. So you say, well, Josh, that's all really great stuff, but what's next? So why are we here? We know that story. So what's next for CFCArts is we're turning the 8-year corner. We're looking at several key areas as we're reimagining of what the future could look like and how this organization can be here for many years to come for our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids. We're looking at sustainability. We're looking at accessibility. We're looking at ways to make these programs even more diverse, which is super important in the melting pot called Central Florida. We're looking at age-specific programs, multi-generational programs, and something that's really new to our area, intergenerational programs. How do we take the generations and morph them into programs where kids are working alongside seniors, or middle schoolers are working alongside people with disabilities? How are we bridging those gaps and helping us learn through the arts? We want to be a national model of excellence for how we're doing what we're doing so it can be replicated in other urban areas across the country. We're focusing on arts and wellness and disabilities. We're focusing on creative and innovative programming for healthy senior adults. We're looking at ways to continue to have amazing art collaborations to give community members the opportunity to work with professional organizations or for us to work with other community organizations to create once-in-a-lifetime art experiences. And we're restructuring CFCArts starting today to be more managed for the long term so that we can make sure these programs exist forever. I'm going to say forever. So this conversation actually started with the Winter Park Health Foundation, Dinah Sylvia and her wonderful team. They came to us and said, Josh, we love what you're doing in arts and wellness. We love what you're doing multi-generational, but we want you to consider creating programs for healthy, aging senior adults in the times, locations, and offerings that work for them. So we started a planning grant with them, and I traveled the country, and I met with organizations and created best practices and curriculum so that we could bring that here to Central Florida. And through that, they gave us a $130,000 grant to launch our programs for seniors last year. And they were a big part of this whole beginning conversations about arts accessibility. So can you please give the Winter Park Health Foundation a very big round of applause? And then our dear friends at the Universal Orlando Foundation, and I'm so glad that Diane Odell, the Vice President of Community Relations for Universal Studios, is here tonight. Diana, will you please stand so everybody can see you, and can you wave your hand so everybody can acknowledge you? The Universal Orlando Foundation had supported CFCArts and several projects and been a great, great partner. And they came to us in December of 2016 and said, we want you to think about a big idea. What can we do to invest in you with a large grant and help you to create more opportunities for people in Central Florida when it comes to arts education and outreach? And how can we invest in your business model so that you can remain sustainable? So over a year-long process, meeting with Valerie Reed and that team and doing our homework and having meetings, we came up with the reimagining and the relaunching of the School of the Arts. And because of a $144,000 grant that Universal gave us, this journey began in the reimagining of the School of Arts. If you don't know, that is a very large grant for an organization that's only been around 6.5 years as a nonprofit. So can you please thank the Universal Orlando Foundation again? For truly being the catalyst for this conversation to get going. So tonight we are launching the reimagined and the new School of the Arts. And you say, oh, I've heard that, but what is that, Josh? So that's what you're wondering, right? So the School of the Arts is a continuum of arts education and experiences for a lifetime. And we're still gonna have the choir, the orchestra, the theater, the youth orchestra, all the performing ensembles are gonna continue to do what they do and grow and be great and wonderful. But we're really honing in and focusing in on these education and curriculum-based experiences that we can offer from literally womb all the way to last breath, so that every person, no matter where they are on their journey, can have access to the arts. And so I'm gonna share with you how we're gonna do that. In the School of the Arts, we have 4 areas of focus. One is the Academy. And the Academy is what we used to call our School of the Performing Arts. And the Academy is private lessons, group classes, workshops, and in all the disciplines of the performing arts for all ages. And you can see in your beautiful brochure that you got all the things that we already do in the School of Arts. If you want to follow along, you're more than welcome to do that in your brochure. I'm on the Academy page, the orange page. You'll see the things that we are already offering. And then the second area is arts and wellness. And arts and wellness is engaging arts experiences for those living with cognitive and physical disabilities or disease. The third area is arts in action, which is specialized arts classes for healthy seniors ages 60 and older across Central Florida. And then the outreach area is arts experiences for children and adults in undersupported and marginalized communities. And that's in a variety of ways. And so when we look at each one of these areas, I want to highlight some of the new things that are launching as of tonight through the new School of the Arts. We are creating a career service learning program with UCF so that students can come and work in the trenches with Central Florida Community Arts in our outreach programs, and our education programs, and our theater, and they can earn credit for that. But it really helps them to get out and experience all the different kinds of things that we do in Central Florida Community Arts. That's a really big deal for us to have that relationship with UCF. Jeff Moore, who is the Dean of Arts and Humanities for the School of UCF, serves on our board, and he was instrumental in helping this relationship form. So can you please, Jeff, can you please stand, and can you please thank Jeff for his amazing work at UCF? We also are creating a multitude of prenatal and toddler programs. So moms that are expectant are going to be able to come to arts classes because we know that early development and learning is affected by the arts. And so we're offering an array of prenatal and toddler programs. We also will be creating a variety of new group classes from piano to guitar to ukulele. Anybody want to play the ukulele? Yeah, 6 of you, I love it. Well, we have a class for you now. We actually are creating classes for anybody that comes to us. If we can find the right teacher, we want to help you learn the thing that you have a dream about. So the academy there, and then we're also creating virtual learning studios. So we have a lot of people that are in Central Florida that are actually homebound and cannot leave their home. So we are working with people to set up virtual lessons in their home with our master teaching artists, so we can go right into where they are and help them to learn how to play the guitar or take a voice lesson or begin to learn how to play the piano. Isn't that cool? I love it. Then in the arts and wellness, you can see on that page how many wonderful things this organization is already doing in that area. But you can see these are the new programs and partnerships where we're integrating arts experiences. The Down Syndrome Association of Central Florida, Joyful Music Therapy Foundation, we're creating a dance program for people dealing with Parkinson's through the Joyful Music Therapy Foundation. Brain Fitness Club, which will be ongoing weekly programs for people dealing with dementia. Also, new programs with Florida Hospital and Parkinson's and Dementia, Easter Seals of Florida, and Lighthouse of Central Florida, working with kids who actually are visually impaired and blind, making sure they have access to the arts. So we also are expanding our programs with Orlando Health. We already have a choir there for people in the cancer support community, and we're expanding that. And we are very proud to announce tonight that after 3 years of a successful musical minds choir, a choir for people with dementia, it has grown so large and the need is so great that we're creating a second musical minds choir in Winter Garden in association with the Winter Garden Art Association. And I'm super excited that we are going to have many more opportunities for people dealing with early stages of dementia to be a part of a musical minds choir. That will be launching in September. Then under the next area, and go. Oh, more expansions. There's so many, I can't even keep up with them all. Bishop Grady, Quest Training, dealing with adults with autism. Then our Arts in Action, which is our program for healthy senior adults. We are able now to take the 6 classes that we're offering in singing and acting and dancing and all that, and offer a 2nd and 3rd level in intermediate and advanced courses for seniors. We're also able to, through a grant for the Dr. Phillips Charities, we're going to be expanding into the Dr. Phillips area to take these programs. And then here is some super exciting news. We are going to be doing a greater Orlando expansion with the Orange County Public Library System. And it is Orange County Public Library System's goal that within, we won't give a time, but an amount of time that at all 17 branches of the Orange County Library System, we will have programs, arts programs for healthy aging adults at all of those branches. And that is really super awesome. And we're creating senior performing groups coming to a performance hall near you soon. Singing groups, storytelling troops, dance groups, all sorts of fun things through the new School of the Arts that we're creating. And then in our last area, a core area, which is outreach, we're creating programs with Seminole County Public Schools, Zebra Coalition expansion, and we're going to be doing in-school and after-school programs at the Pace Center for Girls. I'm really excited about what we're doing with Seminole County Schools because Northland's right here in Seminole County. And I had a conversation with Dr. Griffin, the superintendent of Seminole County Schools, who's a wonderful man, and I said, how can we as an arts organization really partner with your school system? And he explained to me the disparity in, not just in Seminole County, but also our friends from Osceola County are here as well, and from Orange County in the back, Scott Evans. But there's a disparity in feeder schools up to the next level of school. So as we look at the high school programs in Seminole County, really robust choirs and orchestras and theater programs and all of that, and they're building those at the middle school level. But for each one of those middle schools, there are multiple elementary schools that feed into those programs. And you might have one elementary school that has all of these great arts offerings, and then you have another elementary school that has almost nothing. So those kids are coming together at the middle school level, competing for those new opportunities and on completely different playing fields. So he said, can you come in and can you help us level those playing fields at those elementary schools through after-school programs, before-school programs, in-school programs. So that's what we're going to be doing through this new expansion in Seminole County Schools. We also will be working with the Winter Park Public Libraries with tween programs and the Hope Community Center out in Apopka with migrant farm families that we're super excited about with Sister Ann and her amazing team out there. And go. I know we changed the batteries before this thing. There we go. So the School of the Arts is, as you know, generously supported by Universal Orlando Foundation. We're so very grateful for them. But we also had a variety of people who gave specifically to the launch of the School of Arts because many of these programs that we are doing are completely free to the community. We didn't want to have to charge them for it. And so we were in the midst of having a wonderful theater reception that we went over our goal for. We went over our goal for our member pledge drive. We went over our goal for our scholarship drive where we raised $25,000 for scholarships. And we didn't want to do another public campaign. So we went to a small group of people and we said, would you invest in this School of the Arts so that we can get it launched and make many of these programs free? And I'm happy to tell you that between these donors that I'm going to tell you about tonight, we raised an extra $125,000 specifically for these programs in the School of the Arts. So combined with the gift from Universal Studios, we were able to have about $275,000 of money allocated directly to these free community outreach programs, which is just incredible. And so some of these people are in the room tonight. Many of them could not make it. But if you are here tonight, would you please just stand as I call out your name and stay standing so that we can all give you a round of applause for being so very generous to this effort. Oh, Margie Papp Steinmetz, the Dr. Phillips Charities, Orlando Magic, Chris G. Kampmeyer, Krista and Jonathan Ledden, the Hume Family Foundation, Gracie B. Livingston Foundation, Ralph and Sharon Spano and the Michael Spano Foundation, Sarah Brady Public Relations, Candor Path Financial, the Arts Family, BioClinica, which is a medical research organization, BB&T, United Arts of Central Florida, Walt Disney World Volunteer Grant Program, Maxine Platt, and PNC Bank. If you represent any of those organizations, or that is you, will you please stand so we can give you a big round of applause and thank you to each one of you. Thank you for your graciousness and for your generosity, and because of it, many more people will be able to experience the arts from all backgrounds and abilities, and we appreciate it very, very much. So the arts are vital to our community. Do you believe that tonight? Okay, you're in a church. You can give me an amen or something. The arts are vital to our community. And we believe at CFC Arts that they impact you through emotional connections, observation skills, expression, empathy, compassion. They allow you to be mindful and present, or they allow you to escape and have a respite. They open doors to multicultural appreciation, conversations, and sensitivities. They create social engagements and relationships, and they foster natural collaborations among human beings. We believe that our mission and our vision at CFCArts is permanent. We have not strayed from that mission, I'm proud to say, on behalf of our board, since day one. But our processes and our programs and the way that we do things are temporary. We will continue to change and grow and reimagine who we are so that we can make sure that the arts are tangible and accessible to every person in Central Florida. So we get some questions all the time, and I'm almost done, I promise. Oh, you want me to keep going? Okay. But there's some questions. And the questions are, Josh, why do you and CFCArts keep the ticket prices so low? You can make so much more money if you just charge more. They're worth more. Why do you give so much outreach program away for free? Why do you offer a scholarship to every single person who asks for it without question? Why do you partner with charities and nonprofits to bring the arts at no cost, even if they have an entertainment budget? Why do you combine arts and wellness into free programming for hundreds of people? Why do you give away so much? Because we believe that the arts are lifesavers. We believe that they're life preservers and they're safety rafts. I could tell you hundreds of stories of how this organization and the arts have literally saved a life. On the cusp of something that was life-changing for them, and the arts stepped in and saved the day. From kids all the way up to people who were taking their last breath. Whether it's leading the way and helping our community after Pulse to heal through Beautiful Together and the leadership role we took in that. Whether it's creating multicultural arts networking events to bridge our multicultural organizations to the greater arts community. Whether it's working with UCF on a musical mind study to prove and provide information about the effects of music on dementia. Whether it is working with veterans or seniors or at-risk youth, giving community members the chance to collaborate with wonderful professional organizations like our friends at the Orlando Ballet or at the Orlando Philharmonic and so many more. We will keep going, we will keep working hard, and we will keep fighting until every single person can have the arts in their life. On behalf of our board of directors and our amazing, hardworking staff, that I love and adore so much. I get a lot of credit for a lot of things they do. I stand before you tonight, Northland Church, August the 2nd, 2018, and I'm very proud to tell you that people can connect, they can serve, they can perform, they can sing, they can dance, they can act, they can play instruments, they can find safety and refuge through the arts. And they can give back to this community and make it a better place. And that every person in Central Florida can feel like they belong to a home. And that home is CFCArts. We have a lot of work left to do. But through the reimagining of our School of Arts, we will be able to create opportunities for hundreds of people who right now cannot touch or experience the arts. And we all know how very important that is. So can we please together applause the work, the mission, the impact, and the future of Central Florida Community Arts. This organization grew into what it is today in a very grassroots way. And you tonight and those that are watching social media, you are our very best ambassadors. So go out and spread what you've heard tonight. Let everybody know that you come in contact with, whether it's at the drive-thru or your server or the person who takes your movie ticket, say, do you sing? Do you act? Do you play an instrument? Most of the time they'll say yes. And then you say, are you doing that now? And most of the time they say no. And then you can tell them a place where they can belong here in Central Florida. Go out and spread the word. You are our best ambassadors. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for being here tonight. And we look forward to an incredible reimagined future with CFCArts. Thanks for being here.